Hey, what is going on? You are watching today and listening for some of you that get this show repackaged tomorrow. Sex with Stevie. I'm your host, Steve V. And happy Gay Pride, you all. I am so excited. I have got a jam-packed hour for you. I hope you are all tuning in and have a cocktail. This show is gonna happen. I'm so excited today for it's Pride Week here in New York City, as is in San Francisco, and it's been Pride Month for all of us. So first of all, cheers to you guys. I hope you have a cocktail here. I've got one. And cheers to you. On this Pride Week, I'm so excited. I've got to use my time wisely because I've got people calling in all night long. But on this Pride Week, I wanted to show you I'm wearing my Pride sneakers, if you can see them. Converse made them a while back, and I got them for my sister, my BFF Jeremy, my co-host, and I just love them. And I love to put them on every gay Pride. As you can see, I am decked out tonight in Pride colors because, hey, we've got to celebrate these things, even if we are not having the parade this year in New York City or in San Francisco. And so we got to celebrate it when we can, and happy Pride to you all. It's a monumental year because it's actually the 50th anniversary of Pride in San Francisco right now, and in New York too. It's the 50th anniversary of the Pride March, the original Gay Pride March. And last year here in New York City was World Pride, and Stonewall, the 50th anniversary of Stonewall. What people don't realize is then it was a year later after that then the Pride marches began. And this is actually the 50th anniversary, and I think it's definitely something we need to celebrate and be really excited about. And so I am very excited to be celebrating that. I've got a jam-packed show here, and I'm just getting my voices together. Let me know how you're celebrating Pride this year, or how you maybe already have celebrated it, because I want to know. And I think it's really important that we do celebrate it at this time more than ever. We've got a lot to celebrate. And while I have you, before my first guest calls me, I've got my co-host calling in. I've got a very special guest calling in a little bit as well. But I wanted to share with you, as I love to do my show and tell, some music, because music's always a great way to celebrate. And one of them is the Bohemian Rhapsody soundtrack from the film, but it's all the music of Queen. And I couldn't think of a better way this weekend to celebrate Pride with jamming to this. And look at this twofer. It's the whole music of Queen. I mean, we're talking Somebody to Love, oh my gosh, Bohemian Rhapsody, of course, We Will Rock. I was about to sing, and I'm not going to do that for you. On and on. And so this is an album that I think you should be jamming to. One of the things that would be nice to be jamming to you. This is a call-in show, but you can also put comments in the comment section, as I am live right now. And let me know how you're celebrating Pride. I want to hear from you. And as we go through this hour, I'm just checking right here. Like I said, this is Sex with Stevie, my live podcast, and we did here's my first call. Hello, caller. Is this Vivian Meade? Hi, Vivian Meade. Do you have your sound on in the background there?
I turned it off.
Okay.
As a producer, I should know that. How are you?
I am really good, ladies and gentlemen. As I switched my tag here, Vivian Meade is on the phone with me, who also happens to be my sister. Happy Pride, Vivian.
Happy Pride, Steve. So happy to see you. Wish we were together. We normally are together during this week, Pride Week and my birthday week. So, yeah.
Exactly. And actually, I wanted to actually have you on the show for a lot of reasons. It's your birthday week, and happy birthday to you. And I wish I could be with you. And secondly, I want to thank you for, not just because we're brother-sister, but because I think it's important for us LGBTQ to always kind of thank our allies. And you have been such an ally from the get-go, and that means so much to so many of us. So thank you, first and foremost.
Thank you. Yes, I mean, as you know, my best friend is gay. You are gay. Probably 90% of my friends are gay. So, yeah, I am definitely an ally.
Exactly. And I couldn't help but think a year ago we were here in New York City in this exact spot where I'm shooting this, celebrating World Pride. And
oh my gosh.
One of the things that we did just 1 year ago, which would have probably been almost tonight, where we shot a live podcast. And it was at that live podcast that you had the inspiration that this would make a really good TV show, and that you wanted to kind of co-produce. And what did we do? We did it.
We did it, yeah. We shot that pilot in October, the end of October, and we are in the midst of editing. So I'm really excited. It looks fantastic, and I can't wait till we can show people.
One of the things I always love to celebrate is all genders. We've been talking about Black Lives Matter. We've been having the conversation. I always love to have so many conversations, but I just really quickly, what did it mean for you I hate to use to be a female director, but you were the director on that project. What did that mean to you, if anything? I mean, I don't know.
Yeah, well, I mean, I think, we worked together on a lot of different projects throughout the years, Progressive Pulse. We worked on producing a lot of things together. And Tags is a show that you came up with and a concept that I think is brilliant. And, I commend you on how well you guys are doing. But I wanted to be part of it, really. And I wanted to I think I understand working with you, and I understand what makes you tick, hopefully, by now, after we've known each other for so long.
Yep.
But I just wanted to be part of, your Tags production. I think it's a great show. I think it's very original, and I was honored that you allowed me to direct it.
Well, I thank you, and I'm so excited for what's to come, because we've been looking at it, and we're tweaking it with an editor right now, and I think it's looking good, and given the where we're at with everything right now, I think it has a chance to actually get up somewhere. I don't know.
Oh, definitely, yeah. I mean, the funny thing is, I think we're looking at the footage, and it's so relevant, even though October seems like a year ago, but just some of the topics that you cover, I think, were very relevant, and I think people are going to receive it pretty well, and I think your audience is going to love seeing you guys live. So.
And I do think it's important. I really just want to, if you could just say a couple words. What did it mean for you personally? Were you nervous? As I know, when I've done this show, I get nervous actually every time I do any new project. But we had a crew, people. We had talent. We had a set that we only had for one day. We had an audience. It was live, which is a whole nother beast.
Yeah.
What was going through your mind to do that?
Well, I have wanted to direct for a long time, as you know, and it was a big responsibility, and I was really, really nervous, of course. But I, did my homework, and luckily I hired some great people to work on the crew behind the set, and you have a great cast in front of the set with the Dr. Goldstein and Jeremy and Lincoln. So, it takes a village, basically, is what I can say, and I was the ringleader. But I was nervous, but I think it came out great, and I think we supported each other, so. I loved being part of it.
I love it. Well, one of the things that's really, while I have you here, is we probably, with another friend of ours, dear friend of ours, would have been in Lisbon right now. Travel's such a big part of what we love, and we're not. You're in Oakland, and our other friend's in LA, and I'm here. What have you learned just, in the quarantine of just kind of being at home, and how are you going to spend your summer?
I would have loved to be on that trip with you guys. But I mean, it's a pandemic and nobody can see this coming. I guess I've learned to, be on my own here. I mean, I live by myself and that's one thing, but being in your house 7 by 24 is another. So, I've learned a lot about myself. You and I talk a lot, so I think it's nice to have somebody to share this with. I mean, East Coast, West Coast. So that's been good. And then I've gotten in touch with a lot of friends that I might not have normally talked with, just because, checking in on them and making sure everybody's okay. So it's been interesting, but, we've gotten through it. So
we've had some, before I let you go, we've had some great conversations, and we should have that show recorded too. That reality show. But California currently is showing a rise, and your governor, I'm from California, it would seem seemingly like you guys have done all the right things, but your numbers of the COVID-19 are currently on the rise. And how's that going to affect how you maybe go out, as we're in the heart of summer?
Yeah, it's kind of sad because I do think that Gavin Newsom has done a good job of kind of keeping us updated on what things are going on. I think there's been pockets that have not been good, but I really don't know why it's getting worse. But I'm going to be cautious. There are a few places that are opening up with patio seating and things like that, so I wear my mask everywhere. We're obligated to do that, and I think that we all should. But I'm going to be careful, but I'm going to try and do some things, in the summer. So, cross my fingers that everything goes all right. But I'm gonna stick to the rules. Let's put it that way.
Well, I love it, and again, thank you for being an ally to our community, not just because you're my sister and my partner that I work with, and I love you, and happy birthday, but thank you for really always being an ally, because I think it's so important, particularly now. And
Absolutely. Well, thank you. Love you too, and happy Pride. I'm going to be celebrating here, and hopefully we can join in on some celebrations, throughout the week here. So I will talk to you later.
Sounds good.
Farewell for now from Oakland.
All right. Thanks, Vivian. Bye.
Bye.
Oh my gosh. My sister, love her to death. And like I said, I've got a jam-packed show here, but put your comments here. And let me just tell Kyle here, who might be calling in, my first guest. Let me see. Is he calling here? Let me just tell him real quick here. Oh, maybe let me just hang up there. So my next guest is Kyle, and Kyle, you need to call on the number that I gave you, which I'm going to put in here right now. Kyle, you got to call in 908-312-1015. Let me just put that out there. This is live, as you can tell. Let me just tell him, Kyle? Hello? Can you hear me? Hello? Let me just tell him real quick. My first guest is Kyle Applegate, and I'm letting him know real quick. Let me just tell him that he needs to call on this other number. And I think he's reading the message right now. It is Pride Week. I think he's seeing the message right now, and he's going to be calling on my other line real quick. Before he... There we go. Hello there, caller. Kyle, is this you?
It is. Hello.
Okay, sorry, Kyle. I thought my mistake. You have to call him this number to make it work. But how are people?
No
well,
worries.
Kyle E.
You got me now.
I got you now. I'm so happy to welcome my first guest, Kyle E. Applegate, of Sacred Journey Healer. He's a minister, a reverend. We're friends. He's currently in upstate New York. We have so much to talk about, right? And I'm going to use my time. Go ahead.
First of all, what cocktail are you drinking?
Oh, thank you for asking me that.
Peachy thing.
So happy Pride, Kyle. And
Thank you.
But that's, I think I said that to kind of suggest that I only drink on Pride, but every week I have a cocktail. Normally it's been white wine. Today I've Hal's. I have vodka in here, Tito's vodka, and Hal's is a New York seltzer company. I don't know why I'm promoting them right now, because just what the fuck, why not? Because the fizz in Hal's New York seltzer water is effing amazing. So when I put Tito's vodka, Hal's grapefruit seltzer water, and a splash of grapefruit juice, and a splash of lime, this is my cocktail.
Yum.
What are you drinking?
Nothing. I was boring. I just had water. I was helping Mike mow the grass today, so I was dehydrated. I had to rehydrate.
Got it. Well, Kyle, so much to talk about, and you've been on the show before. You've been on my live show before talking about transgender issues, and I wanted to get right into it to use my time wisely. And one of the things that I wanted you on before as a trans man, and correct me if I'm wrong, and let's get this on live. Is that okay to say that on correct me, to refer to you that way?
It is, because we know each other, and I've been on your show before, and so that's totally appropriate.
And the reason I wanted to bring it up is for you to weigh in on, there's been a couple of hurrah moments in the federal court system recently with the Supreme Court ruling that they ruled that you can no longer discriminate against or fire LGBTQ people just for the sake of being LGBTQ, which was a big yay. And the fact that it happened this week, I think, was really monumental in a Supreme Court justice system that doesn't seem like they would support our beliefs necessarily right now. However, on the other hand, there was Trump recently rolled back an Obama law that said that now they can discriminate or essentially discriminate against healthcare for the trans community, and for if you were to go into a certain hospital, they could refuse to give you healthcare, correct?
Yes. It's I can't even get into it with this current administration. It's so crazy. You can't have it both ways, and healthcare is a human right. It's something that, in this country too, it should be in every country that people are entitled to dignity when they try to access healthcare. And the thing that separates, trans people, they've had so many negative experiences with healthcare providers or facilities. And just think about it, when you're going to the doctor, you're nervous anyway, like about a test result, or you're not feeling well, and then to be, misgendered and, just with the receptionist, or, all these different levels of trying to access care. It's just really problematic. And to have this administration trying to just cut some basic thing like healthcare, it's just crazy making.
Well, and I would add to that, you and I live in New York City, and there's resources like, I was just walking by it today, Callan Lord, which would you say they're a government-funded organization, or are they?
I know they have different backers. They have a bunch of different backers, and they definitely rely on city money, on state money as well. But yeah, if anybody doesn't think that this is an issue or a problem, they can just, I mean, there's a movie called Southern Comfort about a trans man who passed away because of ovarian cancer because he couldn't find anybody to treat him.
Wow.
I mean, I feel like trans people are really like guinea pigs. I mean, there's no long-term studies of the effects of hormones and things like that, and even people that are taking hormones or getting their kind of trans care, some don't go to doctors to do that. They've had so many negative experiences. So even if you do have access to health care, they've had so many negative experiences, and then the government's trying to like block that as well. So it's really problematic.
The first thing that comes to mind is that obviously it's problematic, but we are in the middle of a pandemic, which it's not 100% across the board knowing how anybody's going to react to this. And with that, on top of various health related issues, it's also been noted that a lot of people aren't going to their healthcare providers in general right now because of fear, whether it's getting different vaccinations, like children aren't necessarily, and there's already projections that could have long-term effects, like measles vaccines. But then with the trans community, if on top of everything else, if we've got COVID-19.
Yeah. New York is one of the places that always did protect LGBT people. I mean, not always, but they already have laws in place to protect us in the work field and to get health care and stuff like that. So it's great that the rest of the states have to comply with that as well to treat people like human beings. So, I mean, we do have to celebrate the small victories. I mean, there is so much bad news these days around, but yeah, it's monumental. Similar to like when marriage equality passed, the message that sends. I mean, marry or don't get married, I don't care about that. And I'm a minister. I do a lot of weddings, but to have federally recognized equality, like the message that sends to like small towns in Alabama or other countries, I mean, it's really huge that the United States passed that. And so this is another step, you know.
Well, I'm glad you mentioned marriage equality, because tomorrow is the 5-year anniversary when it was stated that across the board for marriage equality, that and we're actually on the 5-year mark. Well, tomorrow, actually. We're almost there, midnight. And I remember that 5 years ago, and I'm glad that you mentioned, as you're a minister, a reverend, we were talking offline yesterday that you're about to, let's just talk about what you do. You're a sacred, I'm trying to find my notes here.
Sacred Journey Healing.
Sacred.
It's the name of my website.
Yeah, and we'll talk about a little of the things that you do, but one of the things on there is you marry people, and I know you were talking offline that you're about to marry a couple. What has that meant to you to marry different couples? And I saw on your website you have gay people, lesbians, and all different types, and it was amazing looking.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, I actually officiated my niece's wedding as well, and she had come to town. She came to town for my wedding when I got married like 6 years ago, and she said, "Would you officiate our wedding? Like we want to elope next weekend at the MoMA, you know, in the sculpture garden." I'm like,
"Wow,
okay, sure, you know, yeah." So,
and I know you love art, Kyle. So
yeah. So yeah, I've done some what I call quickies in the park. I've married people at Bryant Park and Central Park, and this one I'm going to do on the 3rd is down at Chelsea Piers. So so I love it. I mean, I love the city, and as far as marrying people, I mean, I went to seminary for 2 years. It was an interfaith seminary, and all the couples that I've married have been of different faith traditions. So I really like that, to be able to pick and choose from, you know, one guy was Buddhist and the other one was Jewish, and we got to mix some rituals that spoke to them, you know. But yeah, it's really an honor to, like, you know, witness people's lives, you know, life transitions, life experiences. And there are all these people that, you know, get a $10 certificate to marry people online, to do their frat brother's wedding or this or that. But I just think there's more to it than that. And
well, we should talk about that. We should talk about that.
I really like creating ceremony. I mean, creating ritual or sacred space for people. And I got to say, out of the dozen weddings that I've done, all but one are like rock solid. I mean, we're talking, you know, 7 years ago, 8 years ago. And that makes me really happy, you know.
Seriously.
Because I take it serious. Yeah.
Well,
so I warned people, this last couple, I warned them. I said, I got to tell you, the weddings I do, they stick, so.
Well, I was scrolling around your website, and people can go to, I have underneath your name here, where people can follow you at Sacred Journey Healing on Instagram, but people can also go to sacredjourneyhealing.com. Kyle is also available too. You can scroll around there and see what he's about. He is doing weddings, but what I was struck by about being nosy on your website was you do couple before anybody gets married, and you've done so much spiritual work that you're non-denominational. You can bring that in if that's what people want, but you do a lot of couple counseling. You also do a lot of work with couples in general that maybe have been together for a while, and I was seeing that you do some work with substance abuse, and then of course gender, maybe reassignment. What's the common goal of Sacred Journey Healing, that the mission that you want people to know about it?
It's really to meet people where they are, and because people come at you from all different kinds of backgrounds and things that they're going through, and just to witness that, you know. And I really love, even though I've been very active in the polyamory community, so people that are in multiple committed relationships, I really like pair bonding exercises or intimacy building exercises. Relationships are work. You always got to work at it. Yep. It doesn't come easy, you know. So a lot of it is about communication, and just listening. Oh my gosh, listening is such a good skill. And now with, you know, I'm so moved by this Black Lives Matter movement, which is long time coming, and I just am really practicing my listening skills as a white person, able-bodied person, you know. I'm like, well, white people just shut up and listen. Yeah.
Wow.
That's been my message this week, is like, listen more, talk less.
Definitely. Communication, and I know you and I always have amazing conversations. Well, I want to switch gears. I would be remiss if I didn't ask you about one of your current projects. You are married, actually, and you live upstate New York. As you divide your time, and one of the things,
I go back and forth.
One of the things I've been struck with and obsessed with is you're doing Airbnb, but you and your partner bought an RV, and one of those, I don't know what the name is. Is it an RV? One of those silver bullet types, the classic ones? What are they called?
Yeah, it's an Airstream camper. Yeah.
Okay, sorry for my, I don't, and I remember when you bought it, and they're so classic looking. You have renovated the S out of it, that it's so amazing, and it's now, you are in a beautiful part of upstate New York, right near Woodstock, and people can rent this, it's just kind of parked in your property, and it's people are using it for Airbnb. What can you tell us about it?
Well, thanks. I actually joined a couple of Airstream groups on Facebook, and they and I hate that this is from 1975, right? It's retro. We really lucked out that we got some cool interior. It's not this like tacky orange plaid or something, you know. And we just did a lot of upgrades, like new water heater, new toilet and stuff that I actually installed last week. And but it's just really cozy and comfortable and really clean, and it's adorable. It's just adorable inside. And I hate when they take these old beautiful things and they gut them and they make them like a kitchen, you know, like a regular modern, you know, stainless steel appliances and all this. I mean, there's nothing wrong with that stuff, but I'm like, if you're going back to the retro theme, like you have this old beautiful retro trailer, yeah.
Honor
so
it.
anyway, it's parked on our property, and we tried to keep it original as possible inside. And so we actually had some friends up last weekend, and a woman and her girlfriend booked this weekend, and they she's a photographer from Good Housekeeping magazine. And I was like, oh, I hope she gives us a good review.
Yeah,
it was just a little more pressure than our. But no, but we love to share our property up here, and there's all these gorgeous. We're 5 minutes from the New York City water reservoir, the Ashokan, and that's where New York City gets its drinking water. So it's mountainous and fresh air. So people have just really been needing to get out of the city just for a little break. So we're around. Yeah.
Kyle, we'll list it, but I'll just say it right now, and I'll put it in the comments section. People can follow you at Airstream by the Stream to find out more about it, and I will list it in tagspodcast.com. And before I let you go, you work here in New York City as well at a spot that I go to all the time, and one of the things that I've always been obsessed with is you're a Boots Black. And for people that don't know what a Boots Black is, can you just tell us real quick? Because I'm obsessed with Boots Blacks, and you're one of the best.
Thank you. I've been a shoe shine guy as a hobby for over 10 years, and what I generally tell people is that you can go anywhere in the city, like Grand Central or whatever, and get a shine on your shoes. But to see a boot black is more of an erotic experience. It's more hands-on. And there's a chair on the second floor of the Eagle Bar, and I usually am there on the weekends. It's a seasonal thing. So really, September it starts picking up, and when the weather changes, people start wearing their boots more. And I love working on them. Yeah. What gave me that skill is I actually worked at a bunch of gay rodeos, and I shined a ton of cowboy boots. So I really specialize in colors. I can do ostrich, alligator, snake. Yeah, it's fun.
Wow. We were talking offline yesterday that in this, as bars, who knows, we'll see when they maybe open up. That's one thing that you and I were talking offline, that maybe you could do it if the person getting their boots shine wore their mask and you wore yours, that it could be safe. But the thing you were telling me is in the summer months, at least here in New York, no one's really wearing their boots, right? They're all wearing sneakers.
Yeah.
So we'll see, and I hope that bar Eagle that we're talking about does have some opening, and I know you don't have any info at the moment, but we all need to be safe. So I want Kyle E. Applegate, thank you so much for gracing us on the show again. You always are so insightful, and I love talking to you.
Thank you, Steve. It's always a pleasure.
And I will
be well.
I will list where we can find you. Thank you so much.
All
right, bye-bye. Love him. I will list where you can follow Kyle E. Applegate. While I wait for my co-host Kodi Maurice Doggett to call in, let me look at some of your responses, and I'm all over the place here. Kodi says, Happy Pride. Frank Pond, Happy Pride. Thank you. The rainbow look. We are all thirsty these days, so fix... Oh, yes, we are all thirsty, Frank Pond. Exactly. Do you have a cocktail, Frank? Exactly. And here's my next guest. Hello, Kodi.
Hello, darling. Can you hear me?
I can. I'm just going to change your title below your name here, so so people can refer to you here. Happy Pride.
Happy Pride! I'm so excited. You know what is really funny? I haven't been like celebrating all June, and I'm finally getting into that like momentum of like, oh my gosh, it's Pride. I need to like do things and make sure that I express my sexuality and how happy I am to be with all of my lovely gay friends. So I'm just so happy it's Pride. And that's just it.
Me too. I know it almost like ran past us, and I think we would have been really saddened if we had ignored the fact that it is Pride. And as I was saying as I opened the show, last year was World Pride here in New York City and the anniversary of Stonewall, but this year in New York City and in San Francisco, it's the 50th anniversary of the Pride March, the original Pride March. And what the Pride March was originally meant to be. And I was just asked to be a part of maybe a change in how we approach the march in the upcoming years, because it's gotten a little bit corporate. And I'd be curious to hear how you thought about it, because I actually lent my name to an organization that will actually push to maybe change how what Pride really is.
I think that the corporations help to like get our message across to like where it would normally permeate to, but I think that like the parade and all that things of that nature, like that needs to be our focal point. We need to that needs to involve our community more. That has to be like where we are centralized and where we put a lot of our effort to. So. Yeah.
I agree. Well, Kodi, I want to first of all cheers you. Happy Pride. Do you have a cocktail?
Happy Pride. I do. It was my best friend's birthday today, and so I've been drinking since 8 o'clock.
Okay, all right. Well, we're gonna get into some fun stuff while I have you on here. But first off, I want to thank you for doing episode 173, which people could listen to of Tag's podcast this week. You can watch the videos of the interviews that I did. It was about race and sexuality. And the interview that I did with you, Kodi, was with a former guest that's been on the show, Corey Harmon. And I was re-listening to it's all posted on our YouTube channel and everywhere else. But I really want to thank you for doing that and for your honesty of talking about race and sexuality.
It was amazing. Thank you so much for letting me share my experience and what it's like for me to be a Black gay man. It was really great. Thank you so much.
Yeah, and one of the things that I don't know that, because you also mentioned something on there, and I don't think I probed too much before, is you're also Puerto Rican, correct?
Yeah, I'm half Puerto Rican. Well, my mom is half Puerto Rican. It gets very involved. I always say to myself, like, I'm like those kids on Blackish, whatever they are. That's what my so, but I grew up in like the Puerto Rican culture, so I'm equal parts Puerto Rican, equal parts Black. But there's a bunch of other things in there, so I'm not gonna kick and make mince words about my ethnicity. I'm Puerto Rican and Black.
Yeah, I mean, I wanted to. There was a comment that came on our YouTube channel as I posted it, and I can't remember what they said exactly, but essentially they were saying that they liked in our interview all three of our viewpoints, and they thought it was beautiful because we all kind of came from different perspectives, and even mine as sort of a Mexican American, and I just think that conversation is what is necessary right now, and maybe not to be so afraid of saying the wrong thing, but having conversations. I don't know what you think about that, but
I think it's amazing. I think everybody's individual story is what needs to be told. So you can't tell my story and I can tell your story. So I think it's really good that we all try and have that come to Jesus moment, if you will.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
All right, well, Kodi, it's Pride Week, and I have a bunch of things to get into. And one of the things I wanted to play a fun game with you. It's time to test your sex meter, Kodi Maurice Doggett. Are you willing to play?
Oh, for sure.
Okay.
I love games.
And audience watching live, put in the comment section. So basically, this game, I'm going to read to Kodi two things, and he's got to list it at the top of his head. But my producer, and I came up with these, and we were having fun coming up with it. But don't take too long on it. But audience, put in the comment section where you would weigh in on the two choices. So it's going to be, Kodi, it's going to be two choices, and you pick the one you'd prefer. Are you ready?
I'm ready.
Okay,
I'm ready.
Here we go. Number one, foreplay or morning sex?
Foreplay for sure. I'm a
Really?
mean person. Yeah, I'm not nice in the morning. Don't wake me up. Don't. You know what? The only thing you can wake me for is sex. Wake me up for sex. But other than that, don't talk to me. Don't even look at me, really. But so I prefer foreplay 100%.
Oh, okay. So see, I would pick morning sex. And
would you really?
I would. And here's the interesting fact on that. Whether you care or not, people. But
no, I do.
The reason,
tell me all about
so
it.
I'm like you, I'm not a morning person, but for whatever reason, I do wake up horny. And I've been with guys before. So one of the last guys I dated over a year ago, we had great sex and everything was great, and we would have sex at night before we went to bed, and he went to bed earlier than I would want to, but I'm one of those, I'm morphed into kind of what the situation at the time, and it was just a dating thing, so it wasn't that serious. Things may have changed if it got more serious, but in the morning, he was one of those that got up and wanted to get the breakfast going, and even if I wanted to kind of roll over, it would be a pillow. There would be nothing there to curl up to even instigate the morning sex. So it was what it was, but I just I've always woken up horny. So for me, morning sex and foreplay is great and all, but when I'm ready to have sex, I pretty much want to rip somebody's clothes off. So that's where I'm.
No, see, I'm the exact opposite. I love the making out. I love the, I'm very talented with my mouth. Let me just put it that way.
Audience, if you're listening, I want to see where you would weigh in on that, but I'm going to move on to my next thing for Kodi. All right, here we go. Next one. Sex in the shower or sex in a public bathroom?
Sex in a public bathroom.
Oh my God, me too. Me too. Okay, I'm on the same page on that one.
Yeah, I don't know. There's something about it. It's there's the you can get caught, and so that's making you excited more. There's that anticipation of probably getting caught. Sex in the shower is so boring. You're wet, and the lube washes away. I'm I'm not trying to do all that.
And also back to that. So I would 100% with you. The naughtiness, and because maybe there's a door. It's not like sex, on the High Line over here. I mean, it's still there's a door, and we're talking we're talking pre-pandemic, y'all. So I don't know where we would weigh in, but if there wasn't a pandemic, where would you weigh in on? And I would.
Go ahead. What were you going to say? There's been no sex during the pandemic.
No, and I have been known pre-pandemic to have something in the public bathroom. Sex in the shower, though, again, going to that same person, he was so clean, and it was, I think I even suggested it once, and it was a no-go. And I mean, I'm sort of on the fence on that one I do like my shower time and my alone time and my facial mask scrub time, and so I'm not mad at that.
Yeah. But. Now, interestingly enough, you can make shower time foreplay time, but not necessarily all the way penetration time.
Okay, so you're mixing question 1 with 2. Okay, I see.
You know,
Where you're
that's what I
going.
like to do, a little callback.
True. No, true. And I've had a shower moment. Now we're getting off track here, but I've had a shower moment that involved another fetish called water sports. But I've only done it, and I'm not even going to explain it to your audience. You either know what it is or not. But I've done it in the shower. Why? Because there's a drain, and we can take, and I can take a shower afterwards. So, okay, so just a little FYI.
I'm with you on that. I'm checking that box too.
Okay, so we're kind of like similar but not. All right, here we go. Are you ready?
I'm ready.
I wish I had my glasses on, but okay. Loud sex or silent sex?
I'm all for loud sex. I am personally a moaner, and I love like vocal sex.
Well, you're also a singer too, so if you said silent sex, I would be like, calling your singing ass out.
Thank you. Yeah. But there's something about like a moan to let people know that you're like enjoying yourself. Silent sex is like you're there just like a dead fish. And I am not, I kind of want to know what yours is now, because if you say silent sex, I'm going to feel a little bit bad.
No, loud sex. I think as
Okay.
I think as performer types, I'm not a singer by any means, but I do on-air stuff, and I'm, in general, I'm shyer. But when it comes to the bed, no, I'm not talking being crazy where it might be an apartment at, late night and you're being so loud that you might wake up, the family next door type of situation. But I want to be vocal a little bit, and I think it's important. My other co-host on Tag's podcast, Jeremy, has said that he grew up masturbating, and he wouldn't mind me telling this because he stated on Tag's podcast before, but he's significantly younger than I am, and he had to learn how to masturbate like in his home, and learn how to do it quietly, and it's kind of carried off into his sex life. I don't think he minds if somebody else is loud, but for him personally, he's sort of kind of kept it a little bit more contained. And yeah.
Interestingly enough, like I grew up the same kind of way. I had to be quiet when I was masturbating, but it was like the reverse. When I could actually be loud, I took every opportunity to be loud.
Okay. All right.
It just depends on the person.
Depends on the person. All right. So moving on. Here we go. Phone sex or a booty call?
A booty call. Phone sex, not really. It doesn't get me there, unfortunately. I mean, there have been times, don't get me wrong, that phone sex has gotten me there, but a booty call every day, all day. I've had several.
You know what? I'm with you. I would agree too that I'm for booty call as well, because I think that's in the moment. And phone sex reminds me of, and I did live through it, and I remember participating in it, but it's kind of an old school thing, and I tried to participate with somebody recently during the self-quarantine, and I did it once, and it took me a minute. I think I talked about it on the show, and I think I tried to get into it, and it was fun, but this person wanted to like keep it going, and I don't know, I just was like, I think I was self-directing in my head because I'm such a like control freak that I was like, no, and they keep blowing up my phone, and they need to stop. Is what I'm trying to say.
Is this a public announcement?
It's more than a public announcement. It's an order. Is really what it is.
A public ordinance.
We'll talk about that offline, Kodi.
All right.
Don't get me started. Do not get me started. All right, here we go. Because I got a few more, and I got to use my time wisely. Okay.
Okay, I'm focused.
Bar hookup or an app hookup, meaning like you hooked up somebody on the apps.
Bar hookup. And that's just like skimming out for me. Like it's a small lead for bar hookup, but because I do both, but bar hookup for sure.
Yeah, and I would agree with that. For me, I've stated so many times ad nauseum that I'm just not into the apps. Although I have done them for sure. But for me, there's nothing like the energy that you get when you meet somebody at a bar. Although that's all about to change because I don't know when the bars are really going to open. But you know what? I've met people more recently as here in New York City. I've been on my bike rides, on my walks, doing outdoor workouts, and I've met people and I'm not even talking about hookups, just people, conversations with people, because we're all outside, and I'm not even talking. I'm self-distanced when I did it, and I think I'm carrying that over to that. Have you noticed that about yourself too?
I haven't had that many. I don't know. Maybe it's my neighborhood, but I haven't had that many like in-person meetings with other gay guys. I will say there is this one beautiful man that lives in my neighborhood that I wouldn't mind to have a personal meeting with.
Okay, no, I knew there would be.
I saw him in the bodega, and I was like, what?
Did you say anything?
I didn't say anything. He has a boyfriend, but they have an open relationship. But I would love to be in the middle of that open relationship. So, I mean, there it is, if they're listening.
Okay, well, I'm going to follow up with you on that one as I get on to, let me just see if anyone's, all right, here we go. These are fun, right, Kodi?
I love them. I think that they're great. I can do this all night.
We had so much fun, my sister and I, were coming up with these. Okay, here we go. Dirty talk sex or romantic sex?
Oh, romantic sex. I am such a romantic. And I know this can be taken the wrong way, but I think like I have like a lesbian living inside of me. As soon as we have sex, I think I want to like marry you. I think I want to do all the things that that lesbians typically do when they get in a relationship. Stereotypically, I will say.
Well, it's interesting because you said you were into foreplay, and foreplay is romance and everything, and I feel you on that.
Okay, yeah. What about you?
Oh God, I know. I created this thing, and that one I'm not even because you know what? Romantic sex. If I had to pick one, I do like dirty talk, but it's. Not everyone does it right, and
it's true.
It can ruin a moment if they don't know what they're talking about. And it's like, shut up, like just. I mean, really, it can ruin the whole moment. And I'm such a director in a lot of ways, where I'm like, if I don't like what's coming out of "that's not your line" type thing, then I want to cancel, like stop the shoot. We got the wrong actor, turns out. And
okay, reset. Everybody.
Everyone back to one, reset. Everything's a TV show moment for me. And so I'm just going to go with romantic sex. Because in general, if you're both feeling that vibe, it's because you probably both feel that vibe. And it's less risky, and I would go for that. So, in that long-winded answer. And lastly, we came up with Kodi is role play with a partner or watching porn with a partner.
Oh, definitely role play. I don't know. It just kind of takes me out of the moment when I'm watching porn with a partner. And when you role play with a partner, it's kind of like you have a new partner, kind of, sort of.
Ooh.
So, There's that interesting twist on there.
You're right.
Yeah.
So you're getting like 2 or 3
I put a lot of time into
first for the one. You're getting the person that you thought you liked, but then you're getting this other person in addition. So you're getting like double the trouble. Oh.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, now
it's like I'm being a little bit naughty. I might even be cheating on my partner.
Yeah. And you know what? For me, I would agree. Role play for sure. Just because I'm like I just said, everything's always a TV show moment for me, or I'm always under the light, and so to be another character or to try and is lights, camera, action.
Yeah.
So yeah, I would agree with that, and so absolutely. Awesome. Thank you for playing that, Kodi.
That was so fun. I want to do another one.
We will do another one. I know. Let's do that. Well, okay. Well, before we end here, and as you have suggested before, we have been following you on since we started this show, Sex with Stevie. Like we stated before, for people that are new, you were supposed to be sitting next to me as my co-host on the show. It was supposed to be a live show. It will be a live show. It is a live show. You will be sitting next to me. But one of the things is we were following a relationship that you had kind of gone along, and you have told us you're no longer with that person, correct?
Yeah, and we haven't even been in contact, unfortunately.
Well, you've mentioned you're single and again on the prowl, and I thought it'd be fun if we could share what are the top qualities you're looking for in a man. The 3 top qualities you would say, not to put you on the spot, Kodi Maurice Doggett. I'll do mine too. And
okay,
I haven't thought of it. I really haven't thought of it.
Okay, all right. So in a partner, that I'm gonna go with, because there's really 2 answers, honestly. There is a hookup like we were talking about earlier, and then for a long-term partner. So for a long-term partner, I want somebody who is intelligent, can make me laugh, and of course, who I'm attracted to. Not necessarily attractive, but just somebody that I'm attracted to. So that's the top 3.
Okay. So list them again. Attracted to, not necessarily conventionally attractive. Somebody that can make me laugh, that's humorous and intelligent. I love that. Wow, that was so succinct. And I don't think I can do that, but
you can. You got it.
Well, obviously you're right. Attraction is definitely key for sure. Communication. For sure. I think one of the things that I'm a communications major, my sister's, and I can't state it enough. And even when you are a communications major, when you went to school for it, and I value communications. I do a vision board, which I'm staring at right now. I watch a lot of journalism, and I read a lot of journalistic ideas and points. And I like to think of myself as a communicator, or what that actual word means. I'm constantly learning how to communicate, even with all of that. And with good communication comes good listening skills. That's just rule 101 with journalism and with communications, is you can only be a good communicator if you're a good listener. Have another cocktail, Steve.
Catch up.
Yes, exactly. And so those are really key points for me. And being willing to just go with the flow and be spontaneous would be the other thing too. So those would be my things.
Oh, spontaneity. That's on my list too, but it's like 4 or 5, like that.
Yeah. And I say that though with a caveat, because don't come knocking on my door unannounced. But I'm talking about true spontaneity. And the true.
Don't get crazy.
Oh my God, this has been so fun. Kodi, are you doing anything for Pride in New York, or what's?
Yeah, for this Sunday, I have yet to make plans.
Yeah.
Can we talk about doing a little something off?
Yes, absolutely, we will. Absolutely. And we are at our hour mark. I want to thank you, Kodi, and I really want to thank you once again, for participating in a conversation that I want to continue to have about race and sexuality that I've always wanted to have. And you really opened up, and it really meant a lot that you did, because I think it's an important conversation. And that we all,
it's absolutely my pleasure.
We all have to continue to have it, and we might not say the right things, but we can only grow and learn, I would think, right?
Yeah.
So thank you so much, and happy Pride. We will talk offline.
Happy Pride. Yes, sir.
All right. Bye bye.
All right. Love you.
Love you too. Bye bye. Oh my gosh, I want to thank you for joining me in this special of my Pride podcast of Sex with Stevie. This has been so much fun. I want to thank my sister for calling in. I want to thank all my guests and my co-hosts, of course. Everything will get repackaged tomorrow on tagspodcast.com. Happy Pride. Be safe, y'all. Really, be safe. Wear a mask. It's so important. I'm just going to say it out there. And I love you, and this show gets repackaged. Enjoy your weekend. I will talk to you and see you soon.